They should not be roaming freely among us. It's just a way to keep us rooted in so-called economic collapse. Who want me to think I'm president shouting down and even attacking his supporters and rooting against America. You're kidding yourselves if you think that what we're doing is standing up for America. Is tearing down America.
I think it's safe to say that we are this is soldier in the red for love.
Whatever that is like, oh, when you say carry hurt by any of that, I believe you have real other problems because you're human on planet Earth, but not this one. Don't. This makes you look like if your cereal in stock is over for you. Like it's just it's such a non-thing.
Or they are living up to the moniker that was given to them. Because what is being a Karen? Weaponizing victimhood, weaponizing white privilege. So if you're complaining about, oh, they're calling people Karens, and now it's coming back on me, it's victimhood. It's all it is. Well, I don't know why everybody's so mad at me. I didn't even do anything. Yeah, and neither did any other black person born as a fucking black person. But I'm always gonna have problems. Because y'all have decided that I'm lesser than, that I'm a problem, that you feel the need to ask me what the I'm doing if I'm standing in front of a building. What are you doing? What are you doing? Deal with it. No one's trying to send you. No one's trying to mass incarcerate you. No one's trying to not give you a home loan. There's too many things that black people have gone through for me to have any sympathy for some bitch sitting up whining about the fact that they're making me into a meme. The police are killing us because you call them. A meme. Get off the internet. Like all of this is just like,
you're like an idiotic.
I am not, as a black woman, I'm not allowed to play victim. Ever.
You're not doing anything.
Ever. I have to be strong to my detriment as a human being. So to come up to me and complain, or to be on the internet and complain that people are being mean to you because of your name. If I marry a black man, he could die today. I could die. If I have black children, my brother, every black man around me, every black person around me is a constant danger anytime the cops roll by. And then I still have to deal with every white person that walks in nature. I don't know what side they're on.
And I tell jokes, but this court is a joke.
Also,
while this is a draft decision, we have to continue to fight, to engage, to be heard, and to let the Supreme Court know that we will never go back.
White people aren't the only ones calling the police on us.
This is not just a women's issue. This is a human issue for access for all of us to finally have the right to be who we are, who we love, and feel free on this land that we walk and tread.
There are also other non-black people of color also calling the cops on us.
In doing so, not only are they rolling back fundamental rights for women and for minorities, but they are signaling that they will act with odious disregard for precedent and years of progress and expanded rights, including marriage equality and protections for minorities and people of color.
So it's a free-for-all. Everybody knows that if you want to control a black person, you could threaten them by calling the police.
And we will not turn back, bless us!
Stop it. You sound wild.
We are weary! We are mad as hell!
And you want to complain to me that people are being mean to you?
What's next?
Colonial
This
rule
movement
and racial
will not
discrimination.
stop. We are just getting
It
started!
will go beyond identifying.
And you want to complain to me that people are being mean to you? Bitch, fall
As I
downstairs.
said this
Stop
out
it.
me,
You sound wild.
you're like an idiotic, simplistic, naive, woke loser. You're not doing anything but creating division nationally and internationally.
Hello. I won't try to put my name. Who are you? Okay. What's with I won't try to put my name.
When it's acceptable to shout people down, when it's acceptable to not hear what people think, that's the first step to where you become. And thinking you're right and not allowing debate is fascism. Whether it comes from a Democrat or a Republican, or the right or the left, it's it seems America today is more important than the success of our nation. We've got to be both. I'm really clear years of Barack Obama. A lot of you heard my opinion. I was very clear in my objection to his policies, but I never really insisted on the things that you should all want, and that no one can it don't matter if the minority unemployment, the lowest in history, the economy soaring, access to food, that's for everyone.
Or whatever that is like, oh, when you say Karen hurt my feelings, any of that, I believe you have real other problems because you're human on planet Earth, but not this one. Don't. This makes you look like if your cereal ended stock is over for you. Like it's such a non-thing.
So to all you on the left who are threatening our president, shouting down and even attacking his supporters and rooting against America, you're kidding yourselves if you think that what you're doing is standing up for America. What you're doing is tearing down America.
Or they are living up to the moniker that was given to them. Because what is being a Karen? Weaponizing victimhood, weaponizing white privilege. So if you were some complaining about, oh, they're calling people Karens and now it's coming back on me, it's victimhood. It's all it is. Well, I don't know why everybody's so mad at me. I didn't even do anything.
And when you do, you're tearing down something more important than even the President of the United States. You're tearing down the values of the United States itself. When White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders needs Secret Service protection because she speaks for the president.
Because y'all have decided that I'm lesser than, that I'm a problem, that you feel the need to ask me what the I'm doing if I'm standing in front of a building. What are you doing? What are you doing? Deal with it. No one's trying to send you. No one's trying to mass incarcerate you. No one's trying to not give you a home loan. There's too many things that black people have gone through for me to have any sympathy for some bitch sitting up whining about the fact that people they're making me into a meme. The police are killing us because you call them. Fuck a meme. Get off the internet.
Everyone has the right to speak.
Yeah, and neither did any other black person.
But when you can't even listen to what someone has to say because you despise the man who is president, my friend don't mind. America today is a land of total chaos and confusion.
This is just like, I am not a black woman. I'm not allowed to play victim.
Flash and grab mob looters, steal
I have
with
to be
impunity.
strong.
So to all you on the left who are threatening our president, shouting down and even attacking his
or to be on the internet and
rooting against America.
that people are being mean to you because of your name.
Yourselves, if you think
If I
that
marry
what
a
you're
black
doing
man,
is
he could die
standing up
today.
for
I could
America,
die. If I have black
what you're
children, my
doing
brother,
is
every
tearing
black
down
man around
America.
me, every black
And when
person
you
around me
do, you're
is a
tearing down
constant
something more
danger
important
anytime
than
the cops
even the
roll by.
president
And
of
then
the
I
United
still have to deal
States.
with every
You're
white person
tearing
that
down
walks
the
in nature.
values of the
I don't
United
know
States
what side
itself.
they're on.
Everyone
Also,
has the right to
white
speak.
people aren't the only ones
But when you
calling the
can't even
police on
listen to
us.
what someone
There are
has to
also
say
other
because you
non-black
despise the
people,
man
non-black
who
people
is
of color
president,
also calling
you
the cops on
undermine
us.
not the
So it's a
president
free
of the
for all.
United
Look at
States.
wannabe president,
You
my old favorite
undermine
Hillary,
the United
who last I
States.
saw was wandering in the woods with a dog in tow, poor dog, asking herself what happened, and then coming up with no less than 1,000 reasons why she was stopped. I tell you, stopped from being coronated queen on high.
Yeah, and neither did any other black person born as a fucking black person. But
To make matters worse, target of vitriol, there is now teaching a masterclass on the power of resilience.
Reason has become
She doesn't know.
irrelevant.
She keeps
We
popping
can't
up
have
along the way, no matter
conversations
how
anymore.
hard the
And the ripple
Democrats
is
try.
national in scope.
Suggesting that the American
Families,
Revolution
friends, acquaintances can't even talk to each other. They remove each other from Facebook, and they change dinner and family gathering plans for the holidays depending on their politics.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Let me just start with this. Describe in your own words what the 1619
And for some,
Project
it's
is
now even
and its
fashionable
mission.
to threaten the president of the United States.
The 1619 Project is a book now. It began as a magazine and a special section of the New York Times. And what it is it marks the advent of African slavery in the original 13 colonies. So 1619 is the year the first Africans were sold into slavery in Virginia. And what the project
and you want to
argues
complain to me
through
that people are
a series
being
of
mean to
essays
you? Bitch,
is
fall
that very
downstairs.
little
Stop
about
it. You sound
American
wild.
life today has been left untouched by the legacy of slavery and the anti-Blackness that developed in order to justify it. So it is trying to place the slavery as an institution, which is one of the oldest institutions in America.
Everybody knows that if you want to control a black person, you could threaten them by calling the police.
Really at the center of the story that we tell ourselves about our country and to explain so much about American life through that lens.
Before I get into some of the larger back and debate about this, the specific on the American Revolution, you have since pulled back on asserting that. What has made you pull back?
I wouldn't say that we pulled back. In fact, if you read the expanded essay that is now in the book, you'll see that we strengthened the case about the role of slavery in the American Revolution. What we did do with the original text was clarify. So the original sentence said one of the primary reasons that the colonists decided to declare their independence from Great Britain was to preserve slavery. And what we added warriors who want me to think so now it reads, one of the primary reasons that some of the colonists decided to declare their independence from Great Britain was to preserve slavery. So it was just clarifying that we clearly didn't mean all colonists and all colonies.
You're damn right I do, and I won't stop.
If you look at the scholarship that in Virginia and South Carolina, that protecting slavery was a reason to join a revolution that was started in the northern colonies, but that many southern colonists didn't actually think involved them or needed to.
And I guess that's where there is a debate among historians who say, well, wait a minute.
Miss Hillary, she was by far my favorite.
Thinking you were right.
Look, this became a coalition of whatever it took to go against the Brits, and the same North-South split that essentially has defined this country even today was there at the American Revolution. You accept that part of it, that the Northerners weren't fighting the revolution to keep slavery. Perhaps some of the Southern states used it as a rationale.
When it's acceptable to not hear what people think, that's the first step to where we don't think. And thinking you're right and not allowing debate is fascism, whether it comes from a Democrat or a Republican.
You put a ban on trying juveniles as adults. Which juveniles continue to post their allegiance to their gangs on social media while they're in custody. Example, a 40-year-old man whose car broke down in the wrong neighborhood in South L.A. An area controlled by that same gang. While the man was waiting for help from AAA, a vehicle full of 4 Crips gang members spots him, pulls up, and shoots him at least 36 times. As per DA Gascon's policy, they will not be tried as adults, but instead tried as juveniles.
Absolutely. And that's what the argument is. It's not saying that in all 13 colonies and all colonists, but certainly Virginians, where at that time nearly half of the population was enslaved.
By an avowed white supremacist called the America First Political Action Conference.
Where Lord Dunmore threatened to unleash the enslaved against the colonists if they didn't end their revolutionary efforts, that preserving slavery became a major reason for those reluctant
white nationalist leader of the conference said just before introducing a special guest,
American justice
Congresswoman Green.
system, they need to be recalled and removed from office. And if not, it's just a question of time before your life is impacted, if it hasn't been already, by the lawlessness enveloping this country.
But Virginia, of course, is one of the most important colonies in the American Revolution. Virginians write our founding documents. A Virginian wrote our Declaration, our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, our first president. So,
to borrow a phrase from a friend of mine, our secret sauce here, it's these young white men. That's what we call this.
Yes, there always has been this North-South divide based on the level of dependence that the colonies had on the institution of slavery. But
California law that allows it under gang membership.
To be clear, I didn't make that up. This is based on historiography of scholars such as Alan Taylor, who's won 2 Pulitzer Prizes, Woody Holton, Benjamin Quarles, Gerald Horne. So there is contention within the field of historiography, but I am not someone who just pulled this out of thin air.
Which means they get out of jail at
where there is debate.
Right.
The debate is within the field and should not be about the credibility of the project.
Let me ask you this. I think, is America alone here? Or was this, for instance, you look at the Western Hemisphere alone. We can go to Brazil. We know that they had slavery. They didn't abolish slavery until the late 19th century.
21. And of course, Gascon will not seek enhanced criminal punishment under California law.
That's what we call the secret ingredient. America and the world has forgotten about them, but not us.
Now let me see if I have this
they say
straight.
about
You
America,
invite people
us.
from the UN
they say
who
about
hate the United
America,
States
they
to
say
come here
diversity
on our
is
soil
strength.
to judge us without concern for their bias, their hatred, their prejudice, and their outright opposition and hostility to a democracy, to judge us. Never in history has this ever happened. You invite China, that has 1 million Uyghurs in concentration camps, to judge us. Cuba, that's arresting journalists, beating and killing demonstrators who simply want food and liberty, to judge us. Venezuela, who tortures her own citizens. And Russia, run by a former KGB intel agent, where enemies of the government are poisoned or just disappear to judge us.
Absolutely.
And I think some of the critiques is you paint this as a uniquely American issue when sadly, civilization and slavery went hand in hand for a couple thousand years.
Yeah, and neither did any other black person born as a fucking black person.
Well, no one who actually reads the project can say that the project paints this as slavery as a uniquely American institution, because clearly it doesn't. And the project talks about slavery across the Americas. We don't talk about all of slavery in all of the world, because that expectation is never the expectation of scholarship on the Americas. When we talk about the American Civil War, the expectation isn't that you talk about every civil war in global history. So I don't understand why that's an argument when we talk about American slavery. The truth is, though, that chattel slavery,
I'm always going to have problems.
Was unique to the Americas. That
if you feel the need to ask me what the f*** I'm doing if I'm standing in front of a building, what are you doing? What are you doing?
For more than
Deal with it.
Years, that was
no one's trying to send you. No one's trying to mass incarcerate you. No one's trying to not give you a home loan. There's too many things
and that this happened in a country that was founded on ideas
for me to have any sympathy.
Brazil didn't have a
constitution
constitution
that said about the fact that people are making me into a meme.
The people by the people. They didn't begin with a founding document that says we hold these truths to be evident that all men are created equal. Neither did Cuba. Neither did Jamaica. But the United States States
off the
did.
internet.
So what is
Like,
unique?
all of
No,
this is
chattel
just
slavery
like,
was not unique
I
to
am
the
not,
United
as a
States.
black woman, I'm
But
not
what
allowed
was
to play
unique
victim,
was that
ever.
we practiced chattel
Ever.
slavery
I
while
have to
saying
be
and professing these
strong
beliefs
to
in
my
equality and
detriment as a
universal rights of
human
men.
being.
And that's what this project is trying to do. The 1619 Project, which is very clearly stated, is about slavery in the United
So
States
to
of
come up
America.
to
It is not a
me
project
and
about slavery
complain
in
or
the
to be
world.
on the
It is not a
internet
project
and
about slavery.
complain
It is a project
that people are
about
being
how
mean
does
to you
the
because of
impact
your
of a
name.
country founded on
If I
ideals of
marry a
freedom
black
that
man, he could
engages in
die
chattel
today.
slavery.
I could die.
By
If I
the
have
way,
black children, my
was
brother,
third to
every
the last
black
of all
man
the countries
around
in the
me,
Americas
every
to
black
abolish slavery,
person
and the
around
only
me
one
is a
besides
constant
Haiti, where enslaved
danger
people rose up
anytime the
and
cops
overthrew
roll
their
by.
masters that
And then I
required a war
still
to
have to
abolish
deal with
slavery.
every white
We are
person that
unique in
walks
that
in
way,
nature.
and this is a project looking
I
at
don't
the
know what
unique
side
impact that
they're
slavery
on.
has had on the United States.
Also,
Look, I think the most healthy
white
part
people
of
aren't
this
the only ones
project is
calling
that
the police on us. There are also other non-black people, non-black people of color also calling the cops on us.
I don't
So
believe
it's a
in,
free
I don't
for all.
believe in
Everybody
separating people in
knows that
identities.
if you
I don't
want
believe
to
in
control a
separating
black
people in
person,
classes,
you could threaten
but
them
that's what
by
the
calling the
Democrats believe in because
police.
that's what Marxism
And you want to
is.
complain to me that people are being mean to you? Bitch, fly downstairs.
Stop
You
it.
sound
Dirty
like-
hands to judge the most freedom-loving nation in the world. The country where people from those nations risk their lives to come here. And you invite them to address America's systemic racism against Africans. When a member of Congress can say this about people who work for and support the president,
killing us because you call them.
We have
Why
a
are you
real
looking
problem
to
in
corrupt foreign
America.
government?
A meme. Get off the internet. Like, all of this is just like,
you're like an
I am
idiotic,
not, as a black woman, I'm not allowed to play
woke
victim.
loser.
Ever.
You're not doing anything.
Ever.
But
I
in the
have
end,
to be
this
strong
isn't
to my
about me.
detriment as a
And
human
nobody
being.
needs to feel sorry
To
for
judge
the
if we're
To come up to me and complain or to be on the
Intimidates me.
internet and
But more on
complain
this issue,
that
specifically
people
to
are being
Whoopi,
mean
who
to you
I've
because of your
known for
name.
years.
Why would you let people...
As I said this about me.
If I marry a black man, he could die today. I could die. If I have black children, my brother, every black man around me, every black person around me is at constant danger anytime the cops roll by.
There's a bigger issue.
No one suffers from bias. Why aren't you supporting the Cuban people 90 miles away from our shore?
Suppose I should.
You let people from the southern border in, but not the Cubans. Could it be the Cubans are Republicans and they will turn Florida a solid red?
So you have to stop them. You invite a scandal-ridden organization and cash were funneled to aid North Korean leader Kim Jong-il to come here and judge us. The United Nations that has over 100 resolutions condemning the state of Israel, the one democracy in the Middle East. The same United Nations with its peacekeeping force that failed to stop the massacre of more than 8,000 men and boys by Bosnian forces. The same United Nations with its oil for food scandal, where sex abuse scandals by UN peacekeepers in Haiti occurred. The UN where millions of dollars in cash were funneled to aid North Korean leader Kim Jong-il. Everyone knows what the United Nations is. Remember, it was the UN World Health Organization that lied to us about the COVID-19 pandemic, mimicking the CCP talking track. You may think the end game here will be the UN labeling the United States as a racist, oppressive nation. That certainly will happen. But it goes beyond identifying the United States as a racist nation and cementing the Democrat narrative. The American justice system, they need to be
This is a jury trial of his peers convicted Derek Chauvin of murder. That's not enough for you? What about the federal government that's monitoring several police departments around the country? That's not enough for you? You need communist China's input? Communist
looks so ridiculous in the eyes of the world right now.
UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Michelle Bachelet, urged a wide range of reparations over racism and has urged countries to fully fund a wide range of reparation measures to address the legacies of slavery, colonial rule, and racial discrimination.
To come here,
yes,
on our soil,
it will
to
go
judge
beyond
us
identifying the United States as a racist nation.
As I said this about me.
You're like an idiotic, simplistic, naive, woke loser. You're not doing anything but creating division nationally and internationally.
Uyghurs in concentration camps to judge us. Cuba that's arresting journalists, beating and killing demonstrators who simply want food and liberty to judge us. Venezuela who tortures their own citizens. And Russia, run by a former KGB intel agent, where enemies of the government are poisoned or just disappear to judge
separating
us.
people in identities. I don't believe in separating people in classes. But that's what the Democrats believe in because that's what Marxism is.
Are you
that's
stupid
what communism
or crazy?